Friday night before game day, and the candy seller opens the garage to pack the coolers. The week's chocolate order sat in a hot car trunk for 5 days, and every bar has melted and hardened again with a pale gray bloom across the surface. Still safe to eat, still sealed, and noticeably worse. Dull, crumbly, stale at the edges. Nobody would know until after they paid. His cousin shrugs and says, "Sell it." Nobody checks a chocolate bar. Tomorrow's families would hand over real money for a product he knows is damaged, and the only person who can decide what happens next is the owner. This is topic 1.6 of AP Business with Personal Finance. 2 skills by the end. Explain how and why businesses encourage ethical behavior, and explain how business leaders respond to ethical dilemmas. Practice questions for this topic are in the next video. Let's go. Start with the behavior itself. Unethical behavior in business includes falsifying or concealing information, misusing company property, and causing harm to employees or customers. Selling the bloomed chocolate without a word is concealing information, because the customer pays believing something the seller knows is false. A cousin who hands free drinks to his friends from the cooler is misusing company property. A stand that ignores a wobbling table until it collapses on a customer has caused harm. An unethical behavior can occur at every level of a business, from the newest employee to the owner. Incentive structures can influence people toward unethical choices that benefit themselves, and scenarios test exactly this mechanism. An incentive is a reward or motivation that encourages a particular action. Pay the cousin per box sold, and every damaged bar he hides earns him money. Pay a salesperson only on commission, and the incentive rewards the sale and ignores the honesty. A business that rewards the wrong behavior manufactures its own ethics problems, so leaders design incentives with the behavior they will produce in mind. And the same force pushes the other way when the design is right. Pay the cousin a flat rate plus a small bonus tied to family satisfaction instead of boxes moved, and the incentive now rewards the honesty. The difference was a design choice the owner controlled. 4 tools do that work. First, a code of conduct, a formal, written set of expectations and guidelines for behavior inside the organization. The 3 values on his cooler lid grow up into written rules. Damaged stock gets disclosed, free product goes to nobody, cash gets counted twice. Second, training. Employees learn the ethical guidelines and practice what to do before the situation is live. So the cousin hears the damaged stock rule on a calm Tuesday instead of learning it live on a Friday night with money on the table. Third, internal repercussions. Consequences inside the business for crossing the line, because employees measure a rule by what happens when someone breaks it. Fourth, modeling. Leaders demonstrate the behavior themselves, because employees copy what the owner does long before they memorize what the owner wrote. If he sells the bloomed bars, no code of conduct will convince his cousin that honesty matters here. Why invest in all 4 tools? Because ethical practices can attract customers and employees and contribute to brand loyalty, and a business's response to an ethical failure can shape its customer and employee relationships, its public perception, and its profitability. Run the hallway arithmetic. Selling the damaged chocolate earns roughly $40 extra this weekend. One parent bites a stale bar, posts a photo in the team group chat, and the trust built across 3 topics of this course drains out of the business in an afternoon. The customers stop pre-ordering, the league remembers, and the far field table he earned in topic 1.5 goes to somebody else. $40 today against every Saturday that follows. Run that comparison before calling the concealment profitable. A seller known for pulling damaged stock without being asked earns repeat pre-orders, and the pull works on workers too, because ethical businesses can attract employees along with customers. The best helper at the park wants to work somewhere that will never ask him to lie to a customer. And when the snack box eventually hires beyond family, its reputation will do half the recruiting. Now, the harder case. An ethical dilemma exists when a core value conflicts with other core values, or with the business's goals and practices. the Bloom chocolate is barely a dilemma, because honesty points one direction and only profit argues back. Real dilemmas pinch from both sides. Build, two-sided dilemma, transparency versus empathy. Suppose disclosing the damage means the weekend earns nothing, and the cousin was counting on his share to replace a broken bike lock. Transparency toward customers now collides with empathy toward the person who works for you. Or take a different collision. A caterer promised confidentiality by a supplier, discovers the supplier's prices gouge a fellow small business, and honesty toward a peer now pulls against a promise already made. Two values, both real, pulling opposite directions. That conflict is the dilemma, and the exam expects you to name both values before judging any response to one. A dilemma can also pit a value against a business goal or practice. His fair prices pledge meets a cost spike. The wholesale price of chocolate jumps 20%, and holding prices honors the pledge while eating the margin, while raising prices protects the profit goal and strains the pledge. Neither option is dishonest, and both cost something the business cares about, which is what separates a dilemma from a temptation. When a scenario shows a choice with a clean right answer and a profitable wrong one, that is a test of ethical behavior. When every option on the table wounds something the business values, that is a dilemma, and the question will ask how leaders respond. Before a leader can weigh a dilemma, they need the full list of people it touches, and that list splits in two. Internal stakeholders are individuals or groups with direct involvement in the business's operations, decisions, and outcomes: owners, managers, and employees. External stakeholders are individuals or groups not directly employed by the business who still hold a vested interest in its decisions: customers, government agencies, and community members. Map the snack box. Internal, the candy seller and his cousin. External, the families who buy, the league that grants the permit, and the park office that hosts the games. Suppliers sit outside too, because the wholesale parent holds a real stake in the snack box's orders without working a single Saturday inside it. Every option on the table this Friday night lands somewhere on that map, and a decision that only counts the internal column misses half its consequences. Leaders often use one of two methods to choose. Method 1. Evaluate the benefits and costs of each option for each stakeholder group, then choose the action with the greatest total benefit or the least total harm. Run the Bloom chocolate through it. Selling concealed, the owner gains $40, the cousin keeps his share, and the families collectively overpay for damaged goods, while the business risks a trust collapse worth far more than $40. Disclosing and discounting, the owner keeps maybe $15 selling melt bars at half price. The families get a fair deal and a reason to trust the menu, and the cousin learns the rule by watching it cost something. Total the columns and the discount wins, because the harm avoided outweighs the profit surrendered. Method 2. Choose the action most consistent with the business's vision and goals. His vision from topic 1.5 promises game days families can trust, so the same answer falls out without any arithmetic. Here, the two methods land on the same choice, and when a scenario splits them, apply whichever method the question names, list the stakeholders, and show the reasoning. One more layer. Leaders also weigh the impact on reputation and company culture. Reputation is how outsiders remember the business's choices, and company culture is what insiders learn to repeat, because every employee who watches a leader resolve a dilemma learns what this business actually rewards. Key: half-price sign. Saturday morning, the melt bars sell at half price with a handwritten sign, and by Sunday 3 parents have mentioned the sign in the group chat. 2 tells before the practice video, because scenarios blur these on purpose. A leader acting is modeling, while a leader punishing is a repercussion, so watch what the leader actually does. And when a response question offers arithmetic, count every stakeholder group before totaling, because a half-counted table produces a confident wrong answer. That's topic 1.6. When values collide, leaders count the benefits and costs across every stakeholder group, or let the vision break the tie. The snack box now has rules: 2 workers, real money, and a reputation worth protecting. That raises a paperwork question nobody has asked yet. Who actually owns this business? Who is responsible if something goes wrong? And whose job is which? That's topic 1.7, organization, roles, and responsibilities. The 1.6 practice video and the full Unit 1 playlist are linked on screen. See you next time.